All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something a little different, kind of a fun experiment. We're taking 10 everyday English sentences. These are pulled from a script for, well, it was for a TeachBot Podcast episode about fun ways to learn English. And the idea is to really break them down. Think of this like cracking the code of casual conversation.
Exactly. We're aiming this deep dive at you listeners who are looking for those practical tips to sound more natural in English, whether it's at work, when you're traveling, or just in everyday chats. These are the phrases native speakers use without even thinking. So we're going beyond the grammar books today, really digging into how real people talk.
Precisely. So our mission today is to unpack each of these 10 sentences from that TeachBot script. We're going to go past just the dictionary definitions, really understand when you would use them, the subtle meanings they have, and how they make your English flow more smoothly, more naturally. I think even those of you who are pretty confident in your English might find a fresh perspective here. So let's jump right in. Our first sentence is, "Hey, what's up?"
So this one might seem super basic, like a simple greeting, but it's fascinating how much it actually says about the situation and the relationship between the speakers. Of course, it's a casual way of asking both how are you and what are you doing, but it goes deeper than that. Think about how people usually respond to what's up. It's usually with another casual greeting, maybe a quick not much, what's up with you. You're not expected to launch into a whole life story right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's definitely not something you'd say in a formal setting. Like, you wouldn't walk into a business meeting and start with, "Hey, what's up?" The script emphasizes that it's for friends, and the tone is so crucial here. I mean, even the "hey" itself is informal, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It immediately sets this relaxed, friendly tone. It's like the spoken equivalent of a casual wave or a nod.
hmm
And you wouldn't use it to, say, bring up a serious topic out of the blue, would you?
Right. It's more of an opening for a light, brief exchange. Okay, moving on. Our second sentence is, "I'm just chilling." I hear this one all the time. What's the real meaning behind it?
On the surface, it means what the script says, I'm relaxing or not doing much. But chilling specifically suggests this sense of ease, of informality. It implies you're not engaged in some planned activity and often carries this idea of being content, enjoying the downtime. What's interesting is that saying, I'm just chilling, can also subtly signal that you're actually open to spontaneous plans. It's different from saying, I have no plans, which sounds more, I don't know, passive or even a bit lonely.
That's a really interesting distinction. "I have no plan" just feels more like a statement of fact, whereas "I'm just chilling" has this relaxed, almost inviting vibe. You wouldn't say "I'm just chilling" if you were, say, frantically trying to finish a project before a deadline, would you?
Exactly. It paints this picture of someone at leisure, taking it easy. So if someone asks you, hey, what's up? And that's your state of mind, I'm just chilling is a perfect, concise reply.
Makes sense. All right, sentence number 3 is, "That sounds great." Seems straightforward, expressing agreement, but is there more to it than that?
Definitely. The script mentions it expresses agreement or enthusiasm for an idea or a plan. Something like, I like your idea. That's a good plan. But the key is the positive energy it injects. It's not just a neutral, okay. The great emphasizes excitement, genuine approval. It shows you're not just going along with it, you're genuinely happy about the suggestion.
Exactly. Someone might say, "Let's grab some coffee later," and you could just say, "Sure, but that sounds great." Adds so much more positivity to the interaction. It makes the other person feel good, like their suggestion was well received.
Right. It builds rapport and keeps the conversation flowing in a pleasant direction. It's amazing how such a small phrase can have such a significant impact on the whole social dynamic.
All right, our fourth sentence is a classic for gracefully ending conversations. Let's catch up later. We've all used this one, I'm sure.
We have, and the script defines it as suggesting a future conversation or meeting, like, let's talk again soon, or let's meet later. It's a polite way to say, we can't talk now, but let's talk more another time. But I think the level of commitment implied here is really important. Later is delightfully vague, which can be useful, but do you think the meaning changes depending on who you're saying it to?
Oh, absolutely. Saying it to a close friend versus someone you barely know carries a totally different weight. With a friend, there's usually an unspoken understanding that you actually will make plans to catch up. But with someone you're not as close to, it might just be a polite way to end the current conversation without a real intention to reconnect.
Exactly. And in some cultures, this phrase might be interpreted much more literally, like a firm promise to get together soon. So it's a useful tool, but being aware of the context and your relationship with the person is key.
Good point. It's like a social lubricant,
Yeah.
But like any tool, it can be used with different levels of sincerity. All right, number 5. Can you give me a hand? Our polite way of asking for help.
Yeah, the script points out it's a friendlier, less direct way to say, can you help me? The idiom, give me a hand, softens the request, makes it feel like a team effort. And for those who might not be familiar with the word idiom, it basically means a phrase where the overall meaning is different from the literal meanings of the individual words.
That collaborative aspect is so important, right? It's not demanding. It's more like, hey, can we work on this together? It feels less burdensome for the other person.
Exactly. It invites them to participate, contribute their skills. People are generally much more willing to help when it feels like a joint effort, rather than being ordered around or even just hearing a blunt, help me.
All right, we're halfway through. Let's keep this going.
Yeah.
Sentence number 6, take your time. Something you might say to someone who seems stressed or rushed.
Absolutely. The script defines it as no rush, relax. And that really captures the essence of it. It's a way to ease someone's anxiety, encourage them to go at a comfortable pace, prioritize quality over speed. It shows empathy, understanding for their situation.
You might say this if someone's, I don't know, learning a new skill or trying to explain something complex. It's reassuring, takes the pressure off. Have you noticed if some cultures use this phrase more often than others?
That's a good question. I don't have specific research on the cultural usage of this exact phrase. But in general, cultures that place a high value on patience, thoroughness, might use similar expressions more frequently. It's definitely something to consider when communicating across cultures.
Fascinating. Okay, our 7th sentence is a fun one, a bit theatrical. Fingers crossed.
It is, and the script's meaning is spot on. I hope it goes well. I'm wishing you good luck. It combines a physical gesture with words to really convey that sense of hope and optimism. You can almost picture someone intertwining their fingers as they say it.
It adds this playful, almost superstitious element to wishing someone well. It's a lighthearted way to show your support without, making any guarantees. Have you noticed if people use this more for big events or for smaller, everyday hopes?
I think it spans both, actually. You might say it before a big job interview or just before picking a raffle ticket. It's this versatile expression of hopeful anticipation, big or small.
All right, number 8. A straightforward statement of uncertainty, I'm not sure. Seems simple enough, but is there any nuance we might be missing?
While the script's core, meaning I don't know exactly, is clear, the power of this phrase is in its honesty, its transparency. In a world where people often feel pressure to have all the answers, admitting, I'm not sure, can actually build trust, make you seem more credible. It also opens the door for seeking more information or for someone else to share what they know.
Yeah, that's true. It's better to be upfront about what you don't know than to try and fake it. It keeps the communication clear, accurate.
Absolutely. It's a sign of humility, intellectual humility, and a willingness to learn.
Sentence number 9 puts the decision-making power squarely in someone else's hands. It's up to you.
Right. The script explains it as, you can decide. The choice is yours. This phrase delegates authority, gives the other person autonomy. It can be really useful when you genuinely don't have a strong preference or when you want to empower someone to make their own choice.
It avoids you imposing your own will, and it gives the other person a sense of ownership over the outcome.
Yeah.
Are there situations where this might not be the best approach?
Oh, definitely. If someone's looking to you for guidance, or if you have expertise that would be helpful, just saying it's up to you, could be seen as, abdicating responsibility. It's about understanding when it's appropriate to empower someone and when your input is actually needed.
Makes sense. Context is so important, as with so much of communication. And finally, sentence number 10. Better late than never. A comforting thought when things don't quite go according to plan.
The script's meaning is spot on. It's okay to be late as long as something eventually happens. This phrase offers a sense of acceptance, even relief, when there's been a delay. It acknowledges that while being on time is often valued, ultimately, it's the achievement, the arrival, that matters most.
You might use this if someone finally finishes a task that's been hanging over them, or if they arrive after a long delay. It's a way of saying, yeah, it took a while, but what's important is that it's done, that you're here.
It puts a positive spin on a less-than-ideal situation. While it doesn't excuse being late, it emphasizes the value of the final outcome.
So there we have it, 10 everyday English sentences, and hopefully a much deeper understanding of their meaning and how to use them. It's amazing how much these seemingly simple phrases contribute to the flow and the nuance of our daily conversations.
Absolutely. These phrases are more than just collections of words. They reflect cultural values, social norms. Mastering them can really enhance your ability to connect with others, navigate social situations more confidently.
And for you listening, the real magic happens when you start using these phrases yourself. Try incorporating a couple of them into your conversations today and see how it feels. It's about making them a natural part of your communication.
This leads to a fascinating question for you to ponder. How do these small linguistic choices, these everyday phrases, actually shape our relationships, our interactions with the world around us? And thinking beyond these 10, what other common phrases do you hear that have always made you curious? Maybe that's a topic for your own deep dive into the amazing world of language.